Hello, everybody. Back again. Um, I'm looking for a specific item. I got another one of these coin jars. Well, this one's like a sugar dish, but there's a specific piece I want to get. And I blame AG Stacker 1776 for it because he has one and I want one, but I want mine to be in the blue color because I really like the blue. Um, this thing does have a date, which it's not real easy to view. I don't know if you could see it. I think it's 1887. I think. Anyway, let's talk about some other stuff I got. If you showed up in the last video, you saw this stuff. We'll go in a little more detail, or at least talk about it and give you another good look at this. This, if I can get the light on it good, it's an 1838 Seated Liberty dime. I'm going to make a notice or note of the gap between the elbow and the knee there. That was the original design on these, and they decided after a very short period of time to change them to where they added some drapery to where there wasn't such a gap there. And I'm not sure how much more was changed. A little bit, I think. I don't know. But anyway, got this yet today, this morning, along with this. Now, I haven't had time to do this trick yet. When you buy these coins and they staple is like this, you want to flatten it. And the reason why is if you keep these in a box, like a lot of people do, and like a lot of coin dealers do, you can scratch your coin. Now, if I get the light to hit it, you can see there's a slight scratch on this on the back. Whether or not that scratch, and you can see it pretty good with this, was caused by a staple, or it would just happen to the coin through its wear and tear, I don't know. But this is a pretty old US silver coin. And I'm very happy that I got it. And when I was looking around the shop today, one of the two of these was sitting on the tray with a bunch of other coins. And I didn't even see it yesterday when I was there. And the other one was in a box of dimes, mostly. Uh, they were mostly Roosevelt. Well, not Roosevelt, but Mercury dimes and some Roosevelts. And some Barber dimes. This one needs flattening too. I got a lot of this to do if I'm going to get all these flattened. I'm not looking to buying a flat stapler, taking it to my coin dealer's place and says, use this stapler instead. It makes them flat. Anyway, I've developed a liking for old mint coins. And this is the old mints down here. It's a Barber, 1903. Very clear. Uh, they stopped making coins in 1909. We'll grab a couple more over here because I've got a couple other examples. I got this one for 5 even, which I'm not sure why it was so cheap. And it too, there's no mint. Some of these I've made videos for, and they will be going live on my channel over the next week or so. This one's a little bit better date one, apparently, in terms of how many are left. It's a 1904. It's old mint. I think what happened is a lot of these got melted or something. because they made about 2.5 million this year, but in some of these other years around it, I don't remember which one offhand. Well, I don't have to remember. That's why you own something like this or a red book. This is a blue book. And I can go in here real quick so I don't have to remember and hit, I'm talking about quarters, barbers. I can kind of lay this down and hold it up and we can look. Starts at 1892, but I'm talking about the 1900 ones. 1900 3,400,000. 1901 1,000,006. 1902 almost 5 million, 4.7. 1903 is 3.5. The 1904 is 2.5. But you look over here, a lot of these are 40, 50 cents in this book. This is an older book. It's saying the 1904 is 225. At that time, this is like from 1980, I think, the blue book. The 1906 2 million. 07's 4.5. I've got two of those. 208s. 09, they made 712,000. So I'm here to say that one might be a little harder to find. And they made them in 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, and 99 as well. So they pretty much made them every year, that Barber, up until 1909, the last year. Anyway, we put this back up on the cradle and get it up there. Well, there we go. A little bit of problems. This is actually it's a 1973 edition. I have a 1980 red book, and it's interesting to look at the prices for the coins back in the day. These were gifts to me, by the way, and I'll just lay this down and show you the cover. It's a 1980 edition. The numbers don't change, though, although the price they list is different. Go back to the quarter dollars, get to the Barber. Yeah, I'll show this, though. What I was talking about on the one, it says no drapery on the elbow. Go over to the other design, it shows the drapery from the elbow. So that's the difference. And according to this, 1838, and this is quarters, there was no drapery. 1839, none. 1840, no drapery. That's 1840. The 1840 P and D did have drapery too. So that tells you they didn't do that very long. Now I think on these seated Liberty dimes, the first 1 minute, there's a lot of pages of those. Well, 1837, and you can see it right here in the red book. One dime, 1837, no drapery. Two different sized dates, small date and large date. Put this back on here. It's kind of a pain to take it off and put it on. Now, 1838 had small stars and large stars plus partial drapery. But yeah, 1837 was the first year, and it did not have stars on the front, just the date, which I like it better with stars, but I feel like I need to get one without the stars sometime. The one I got was in 1838 Philadelphia. Where was I mean, 18, that's quarters, dimes. Get back to the dimes. I mean, they made the first seated Liberty dime in 1837, and they made the last ones of any seated coins in 1891. Pretty long time to make coins. They don't generally make them that long anymore, although the Lincoln penny has been over 100 years, although they've changed the back of it a couple times. But anyway, we're going to go back to silver dollars real quick and talk about the first seated Liberty designs. It's half dollars. I wasn't far enough into it yet. Silver dollars. Once we get to the seated Liberty ones. Looks like 1836 was the first year they made them in silver dollars. Up until 1839. In 1840 they changed the design, but this is what I want to show you. The back on these, I want one of those. Now, the problem with that is, this is an old red book. That says 1400 for that 1836 one. The 1838 and 39, you're talking, this thing says 6,000 and 5,000. That's a pretty stiff price, and I'm sure they're a lot higher now. You know, and the mintages on these things, they don't even say on these. So, at least on those, the 36, 38, and 39 shows no mintage listed. But it does say the mintages on the 1840, and there's only 61,000, so it won't be an easy coin to buy that one. Let's go down the line. 1860 looks like they made 515,000 of these silver dollars. That's a pretty big year. You might be able to find that one. Now, this very good 8 back in 1980 was a $75 coin. I'm sure it's a lot more now. You go down to the other ones. There's a couple more. The 1869 and 70, 400,000 range. The 1871 and the 1872 both were over 1 million coins made. And 1873 S, it says 700, unknown in any collection. So whether or not they even exist now, it's hard saying. Then they made trade dollar designs up until 1878, and some of them were made in large numbers. But yeah, the 1871-72 might be years you can get the silver dollar one. That, because there's so many more made, it might not be super expensive. This starts at very good 8. It's $75 on this book, but it's an old book. Anyway, we'll put this back and continue talking about some other stuff. A 1917 Type 1. If you run across any dateless standing Liberty, but there's no stars between the eagle and where it says $quarter, it's a Type 1 coin. Wow, this needs the staples flattened too. They stopped that design for, United States people did not like the front. This coin's too worn to really show you why, but look at the coin books and you'll see why. You can kind of tell what's going on here, but when we go to a newer one, you can kind of see that she's wearing some kind of full top chain maul. type stuff. This one says, but before that, the 1916, which very few were made. I think it was 52,000. They made quite a few of the 1917s, so you can get them, but there's some kind of covering on her top. Wasn't completely covered on the 1917 Type 1, and that's why people lost their mind. This coin does have some decent amount of detail left on it. You can read the date, although it's hard to get this to stay on the focus. It's partially worn, and there's a damage on the back of the coin. Looks like someone had a nail punch and hit it. But it was $9. I don't see very many of them from 1917 to 24 that have dates. I have a lot of them that are dateless, and that's probably what they are, which from that time frame. Now, I show a couple coins that I added to my big stack. This is all treasure chest coins. If you did not see, I got another seated Liberty quarter, and then I got a seated Liberty half, which has damage on it. Get this back up here. 1856, someone drilled a hole and plugged it. This one is an old mint. But if it wasn't drilled or damaged in any other way, just worn, the fact that you can read Liberty on this, at least partially, makes it probably a fine condition coin if it wasn't damaged. This one, the rim is going away, so it's probably about good. But you can read the date on it. It's an 1875, I think. No, that's a 76. It's a little hard to read, but I didn't have to pay much for it. That came, the quarter that is, came with 3 dimes and another quarter dateless standing Liberty for $12, which that's a pretty good price. I mean, it's 15x. Being able to buy any junk silver for 15x, I think, is a pretty good price. But, and then this one, lots of damage, but it's a what if it wasn't. It looks like someone took a wire brush to it or something. But Liberty is legible. You can read it. It's all there. The back doesn't look quite as messed up, but if this coin wasn't, it might be extra fine condition, and it certainly wouldn't have been $6. Anyway, let's talk about another coin I got. Peace dollars are fairly common, especially this year, 22. But someone tried to drill a hole in it, and maybe their bit wasn't sharp enough, and they gave up. So it's got damage, couple drill hole marks, but I wanted it for the treasure chest challenge because it's cheaper than most dollar coins are if you try to order from APMEX or Money Metals or Hero Bullion, any of them, SD, JM, any of them. Now, talking about them, Hero Bullion has been listing dollar face of coins, junk silver, with various different denominations. They show 50-cent piece, quarters, and dimes, $1 worth, and it costs a certain amount. Well, it's not available right now. Now they have $1 worth of quarters. They have some Benjamins like these, only I think they're a little bit higher grade than these. These are just common circulated ones. I think the ones they got are like extra fine or higher, and like AUBU ones, and they cost a little more. But just the general circulated stuff, it says, not available. And that means they've probably been selling a lot. So that's another thing to take in consideration. If you go to a coin shop guy and he says, well, I bought a big collection, and you go looking through it, and there's other guys wanting to buy some of them too, you have to buy it. You buy it now, because these wouldn't have been around at his shop very much longer. Somebody would have saw them and got them. And that somebody was me. If I didn't go back today, I would have missed it. Plus a chance to get this one. So you have to have, some ready cash to go buy something like this when you want to buy it, or anything else you might want to buy. I haven't seen any comments from anybody, and it doesn't look like too many people are stopping by, so maybe people are getting ready for work and they're not too worried about watching a coin video right now. But that's okay, because I still can leave this where people can watch it. I'm gonna thank AG Stacker for sending me this pirate theme button. Whoops, slippery. This Silver Star, which I'm gonna have to weigh it and see how much it is. Well, I don't have to. It's on the side. 3.7 grams of silver. 3.9. Yeah, 3.9's fine. This is a 10-gram button, and it's a pirate theme. But the thing he sent me that blows my mind the most is this. Now, I've sent him some stuff, and that's why he ended up sending this back. Because I sent him an old Mint Barber dime, I think, a Mercury dime or two, maybe a Roosevelt, some various world coins with selling ship designs. And then he sent me this. This Egyptian theme on this is neat. It's a big 1 ounce poured bar. I guess it's poured. Might have been poured in this shape and then this design struck into it. I'm not really sure exactly how it was made, but I like it. It's very nice of him to send, and I feel like I need to send him something back. Now, one of the sell and ship designs I sent him was this halfpenny, one like it. Not this one, but one similar. This ship is the Golden Hind, Sir Francis Drake's ship. This is a 62 issue of these. They made them for several years. Now, I do want to get more of this blue corn glass. I got this little nappy bowl with a handle on it. At least they said it's a nappy bowl online. This particular one carries what looks like 1887 on it for the date. It's a good sized little flat dish, and I quite like it. It wasn't real cheap though, but I think I got a decent price online. I think they were higher, where you could find them. People on eBay sell them. And then I got this last piece here. So I have 3 of these pieces. This one is a pedestal glass, and it says 1887 on it too. But I like the way it looks. It's kind of neat. It's almost like a sundae glass. You get ice cream in it. I'm not really sure if that's what its original intent to be used was, but I don't know. The last piece of glass that I got, I thought was kind of neat. I'm going to go ahead and show it. Bought it not too long ago. On the front of this bottle is a sell and ship design. I don't know how well it shows up on your end, but on the other side, It has an eagle with a shield on it, and it says TWD on the bottom, but it's an eagle with a shield, much like coins usually have. It was $2. It's an incense bottle, but I like that color. That's a nice color. Now, in researching this coin glass stuff, I found out that the newer stuff, the blue they made it what was a presidential series in cobalt blue, which is quite a bit darker than the light blue the ones I have are, and it's newer. That stuff I just showed could have been made during the Depression era, up into the 50s or 60s. I don't know how long they really made it, but I did think it was all kind of neat looking stuff. But anyway, I do thank A.G. Stacker for this, and he did help me with, the pricing and expectations on that blue glass. And since we're on the topic of the New Orleans Mint, sorry, I'm gonna have to show this big shiny Morgan dollar again. 1898 O, really, really pretty coin. The mint luster spirals on it real well. You can see it doing the double cartwheel effect across there. Now, problem with this coin to have it graded, because all stems down to what looks like someone took an eraser to some of this toning and tried to remove it from the coin. If you're going to remove this kind of toning, you shouldn't do it. Just put it that way. If you find one straight from a bag, if it's got toning on it, just leave it be. I mean, you can clean it with acetone and it won't really just do nothing. And it probably won't, as long as you don't, scrub the coin, you just barely touch it with a cotton swab, it probably won't affect the grading. But you don't want to grade common date Morgans unless you look them over, and you look over the price guide, and if, say, a Mint State 65 one, you think you have one, it's worth a lot of money. Like say it's 1,500, and 64 is like 1,200 or 400. Problem with that is I just watched a video from the Coin Geek. He said if you need a coin to grade a certain specific amount, it will always come back one lower. Now, you laugh a little bit, and he's probably right, because they look at their price guide, what they suggest, and they know that if they put a 65 on a coin and it's going to be $1,500-$1,600 instead of $400, a lot of people are going to want that coin, so they have to make sure that they truly are that grade, or else their reputation as a coin grading company goes down a little bit, and they don't want that. So this one can't be graded for that reason, which is a shame, because I looked at these and I've seen Mint State 62, 63 ones that are crackle faced compared to this. This has some chatter on it, but it's not much. But it can't be graded. All right. Someone did show up. I wish they'd make a comment so I know who it is and I can thank them for stopping by. This New Silver Stacker he had a video where he's talking about some of his mistakes. This one was a mistake. It's not silver. This side, it surely looks like a peace dollar. 22. Very common year for these. And this amount of carving to make this skull head on the back would have took a lot of the thickness, some of the thickness off the coin, and but I looked it up online. This is a magician stunt coin. you can buy the same very coin if you want it, and it won't cost that much. Might be $8 or $9. And they do make them on 50-cent JFK coins and other things. So that was a mistake, as was thinking I could send that 1898 I just showed you off for grading. I didn't actually do it, but I paid $53 for the coin, and it's not gradable. Now, Coin Dealer did have another one. It's $56 and looked real nice too. But I didn't buy it because I'm like, if they're in a holder like this, and it's a real high grade Morgan dollar, or looks like it to you, this means 9 times out of 10, these cards mean coin dealers have looked at them. And they all know what a Mint State 66 coin or whatever would be worth. If they passed on grading, send it to be graded, means you probably ought to pass on it too. It'll be some hard lessons learned if you don't, because most coins, most of the Morgan dollars that are common date, that have to be like Mint State 66 or higher to be worth a lot, aren't very common. And if they're in these kind of holders to begin with, that means several coin dealers have seen it, and if they ain't sending it off to be graded, you probably shouldn't either. But that's a firm lesson I'm going to give out. If it's not graded in a holder, there's probably a reason. But I do like this. It's got a skull head on it. It's a pirate theme. And well, when you're move this sticker down, this particular treasure chest, I'll pick it up a little bit and show you. It is a pirate, like an old pirate map. It's real neat. And I'm filling it up with 90% loose silver like this. These go in there too. As does this bag of random silver coins. It's not real full. This one isn't anyway. But this one is very chunky with silver. As you can kind of see, if I had it all loose in my hand, it would dump off of my hand quite a bit. And there's a lot of standing liberties in here that are dateless. There's Walkers, there's Benjamin Franklin's, there's quarters and dimes, Barber quarters. Lots of silver in this. I think this big bag here is about $60 face, maybe. And this one's probably around $20 face, maybe a little more. There's a lot of halves in this. Because of late, most of the coins I buy for the Treasure Chest Challenge are $50 or quarters. I've got probably $20 face of dimes in it, but dimes, I got a lot of dimes, and it's like they don't fill up the space the same way. And depending on what kind of dime it is, if it's generally circulated, it's not a real valuable piece. Even this isn't real valuable, but you compare this, what you could sell it to someone if they, you wanted to, compared to what you could sell something like this beat up Barber dime. You might be lucky to get a couple bucks off this. This, though, you might be able to sell it to someone for $10 today, maybe. Depending on how bad they want them. I always feel like I don't have enough of these Benjamins. I do like the Liberty Bell on the back. That part's pretty bold. This side, his head's kind of round and flat, and there's not a lot of detail to these. But I do like the Liberty Bell. But, of course, my favorite design of these, $50. I'll just pull one out of the bag. When it comes to $50, These are my favorite ones, walkers. This is a 43, it looks like S. Yep, it's an S mint. Show you the S mint. On these, most of them have the mint mark there. There are a couple of the early ones have mint mark on the front, but those are generally higher than these are. It's a 43. General circulation wear. That's what happens to these. But yeah, that's my favorite design of the half dollars. Now I got a few JFK ones, not too many. This year's been hard to find them. Anytime I've found them, they've already been spoken for the most part. The stackers really like them because, generally speaking, they didn't get too circulated, hardly at all. And they went into, because 64 is the only year that's 90% silver on them. And that's why stackers like them. They didn't circulate long, so I feel like, the amount of silver per coin is going to be pretty much what the book says because they didn't get worn. Once they get a little bit of wear, you're starting to lose a little bit of the weight. These probably come pretty close to the 12.5 grams they're supposed to weigh, though, because they're not super worn. Now, when you start looking at some of the walkers or the barbers, if your barber half dollar is worn like this quarter is, it's probably lost some weight. If I had this out loose and weighted, it instead of being 6 1/4, it might be 6.1 or something, or 6.1 something. And that happens to these coins. The more they circulate, the more wear and tear they get. But there's a 52 Franklin. I probably got about, if I had to guess with these going into that bag, I probably got at least $10 face of these and probably more walkers. So that one goes back there and then go there. And we're going to be done with that part. Anyway, I went live for a little while now, and I kind of need to make a couple short videos for these coins to load to my YouTube channel, and I'm going to do that after this, and then upload them, and then schedule them out. But I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream now and leave it up for people to watch if they want to. Have a good night, and I'll see you next time.